All right, so inauguration. Wow, a lot going on. It's really foggy here and it's beautiful. I have some things to talk to you about, and it could be life-changing for you. A big event happened last night on News Nation, and I watched it. If you did not, I'll recap it now. I'm going to share some things with you. I'm reading Chris Bledsoe's book, UFO of God. If you don't know who these people are, I'll explain here in a moment. This is a turning point. This is the tipping point that we are well in. And we talk about the shift, but I'm going to explain it more. I'm going to talk about this new information about our friends out there. What is it? And what's coming forward that you're going to hear about more and more. And it's not going to be so shocking. Some of you may be afraid of this, and others will welcome it. That's the shift. The shocking truth is being revealed, or is it so shocking? I'm going to go over all of that in this video today, so stay tuned. This is going to be interesting. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. It is possible. It is a choice. Today, I'm going to share with you what was discussed on News Nation last night in a show that was revealing about UFOs and another whistleblower. I don't even like that term because the people who have come forward have been inconsistent, and I just don't believe all of it. Now, that's just my opinion, and it's not really important. What is important is what I'm about to tell you, because it's a choice of yours, not what you should do or what's right or wrong. Right or wrong is your decision to make. This is a free will planet of individual choices that doesn't exist outside of our bodies because we really aren't separate at all. And the conflict that is created out there comes from that. I'm going to share with you some visions that I have had, visions of Chris Bledsoe, and my memories of, let's just say, what could be past lives. I don't know. I don't have these answers. But I'm going to tell you what we have to prepare for, because you get to make a decision within these coming events. And you actually contribute to them. I hope you subscribe to my channel. With your support, I can get the word out there that beautiful things are happening. I promise you that. It's a choice. You are massively unlimited creators. I know it's tough to imagine that when you look in the mirror and maybe you've had a really difficult life, or you question yourself, or you just don't know what to do at this point. You want to be the change maker, and part of you says, I'm not that powerful. I'll just stay in my safe zone. Your safe zone's gone, my friend. It never really was there, and now choices must be made. So, again, I hope you subscribe. And I am absolutely dedicated to creating a new world. There's a paradigm shift. As Ross Coulter on News Nation said last night, a huge paradigm shift between science and spirituality just merged in a way that no longer is separate. What is that? I believe that we should live every part of our lives as dedicated to the new world, a golden era of unity, compassion, and changes in the most positive way that respects nature, one another. So I have created, and if you, those of you who are interested, I have a free webinar that explains how we can create planet-conscious businesses. If you're entrepreneurial, I'm changing how we create businesses. We are going into a world that's responsible, that has a positive impact on yourself and others. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because if you saw the News Nation show last night, you may find it of great interest because a new whistleblower stepped forward. But here's what's different about this person. He actually participated firsthand in the things that he saw. So he's sharing things as a participant, not a hearsay, or this is what the government's doing, and never really having seen these things, which is the case with most of the whistleblowers, really had not participated firsthand in, let's just say, contact. This person's a high-level helicopter, you know, deep ops, secret, all these other names that don't really mean anything to me. But all I know is he seemed extremely legitimate, and NewsNation checked him out. This is sort of irrelevant, to be honest with you, because what I'm going to talk to you about today is absolutely in your control. But yes, another person stepping out that actually filmed the retrieval of an unidentified craft. And his client is not the government. It is one of these corporations that works with the government. There's a lot of scary stuff going on with that. And those who have too much information are expendable. And that's why he's stepping out. Because, well, guess what? He's not safe anymore. So he figured he had nothing to lose by going into the public. Would actually give him more safety if people knew what was going on and anything happened to him. It'd be pretty obvious that it was not of a positive nature. So what was the show about? I'm going to let you go explore that, and I will bring it up in future videos. But I'm going to share a few things with you about it because it is the opening of a new era. Now, as of this video, it's tomorrow, but it should be today is our inauguration of our new President, Trump. There will be raids on those who are not in my country legally. That means the hardworking people are in the same bucket as those who are over here doing pretty bad stuff. How that's going to play out, we don't know, but there's going to be some great upheaval happening, great separation and conflict because not everybody agrees with what's about to happen here. This is going to test you unlike any other time in your life. This is what we have prepared for. Now, I want to share with you something of a personal nature that is my message to you. If you've read my book, you know that I was told, I have clairaudience, I have a lot of natural abilities that you do too, but I listen to mine. I don't have other programs running that tell me some different story. That's the only difference between maybe you and somebody who has these great powers, is that they're open to them, and you may be blocking these things with the stories and the things you hear out there that tell you you're limited. So when I wrote this book, I was told this has to come out now. And so I was up all hours. You guys have heard the stories, all crazy hours. I would wake up at 3 a.m. It's always 3 a.m., right? And get in front of the computer and work till 8 o'clock, go sleep for an hour and get back up and work again. And I was just writing as a download. You have this information too. Many of you are getting this information right now. Start listening. If it is of a negative nature, it is your ego, not some evil spirit. You are absolutely connected to the highest power of all creation, and it has created both the darkness and the light. There's no separation between it, amongst it. And so when you point your finger at it, you are saying Creator is wrong, made a mistake. No, Source doesn't make a mistake. Everything you see is of the creation. We cannot understand why we would struggle or why we would go through the things that we are, but we're creating it. We have free will. We can change it at any point, and that's what's going to be happening right now. And it is your free will to make that choice. We're going to go in an era that's going to test us like any other time in a completely different way. It's not going to be the usual massive stuff that goes on. It's going to be a series of small events. I told you this a couple of years ago, to prepare for a series of challenges ongoing. It's going to continue. It's going to continue in your life, personally, and out there. Not all of them are going to be apparent that we're doing it. Some of it, as like the fires in Los Angeles or the hurricanes, are just part of the evolution of the quantum field that we have contributed to that's taking us into the next phase. You will get gifts. What does that mean? I did a whole video on this that's going to be coming up. Everyone will receive the opportunity to make big changes in their life. It will test you. And if you don't take the opportunity, you will remain in, let's just say, a lower level in the mansion. That's not so exciting. It's a little darker down there, and you will be in the same frequency as others who are living in fear, because that's all that is. Fear to progress, to step out, to speak up, This is going to be a tough one. Now I'm reading UFO of God. Chris Bledsoe is an abductee, and I'll tell you what, it's tough to dispute his story. He spent many, many years struggling with the accusations that he's insane and all the stuff that comes along with people who've experienced these things. Whether you believe in it or not, NASA and the government, the CIA, FBI, you name it, MUFON have all found out that they cannot dispute his stories. He's passed every test, and they have witnessed some of these things themselves. Orbs and all kinds of healings and things that no one can possibly explain. Why? It's the powers that you hold right now, and we're going to start tapping into them and using them instead of being afraid of them. This is the new spiritual shift that we're going into. Now I'm going to share some things from his book. I'm about 3/4 of the way through, and I'm actually going to address this because around April of 2026, he was told that when the Red Star Regulus appears, let's just say in alignment with the Sphinx, a new era of knowledge will emerge, the feminine era. And so, ironically, this new whistleblower had an experience when he was going to retrieve a UFO, because that's what he did. His helicopters would pick these things up, place them someplace, and he didn't know where they were going after that. But he firsthand knew whether these things were man-made or not, and they were not. So he is on his way to pick up this UFO, and something so powerful came over him, and it was very emotional. The closer he got to it, the more emotional he got, and he actually got to the point where he was crying, and he didn't know if he should abandon it because he didn't know what these feelings were. He said it was a feminine feeling, it was a feminine energy, so powerful, of total love and things that he can't describe. I've experienced this myself, maybe you have. And he said that at the same time of great joy and unconditional love, he also felt a great sadness. This is what exists here, and this is the duality of our experience here. This is what we're meant to experience, the duality of the sadness and the conflict and separation, and then the great joy and triumph that you can choose. And this is the period we're going through now. When he experienced this, he felt that, and he used this word, not a good word, because for us, we associate it with something negative. He felt that he was possessed, that this spirit had somehow infiltrated his body and has been with him since, which is probably why he's stepping out now. He's not just talking about, oh, I picked up a UFO, and yeah, they exist. He's talking about the spiritual connection that comes with that, and this is what I want to share with you today. UFO of God, Chris Bledsoe, this whistleblower, those are the people who are going to share with you this space that brings what you call angels, orbs, UFOs, the unseen world, and the human 3D dense world is all just one thing in different forms. Because we're so dense, we find it so difficult because we don't live in that world. The more we see it, we go into fear because we are in great separation. Separation is a protection system. Fear is a protection system. And that separation that judges and says, I have to protect this, but you can't. Because this will leave the planet at some point. It will dissolve. What happens to it? You transform into something else, because this is not you. If you do not connect with this super amazing, unlimited power that you have, then you will remain in the fear that is going to take you into a reality that you believe is true. And you're going to argue with each other, you're going to argue about who should or shouldn't be in office and how great Trump is and all this stuff. It's going to cause conflict and judgment, and it's a world that you're creating that you will live in. Everyone has a choice to live in a different reality. You, at the same time, if you choose not to live in that basement of darkness and low frequencies that do not work as a community, they turn on each other, right? Because they're about themselves. And that's what we've seen in the power places. And some of these people, as you've seen with channelers, start out on such a great footing. As soon as they get tested with their ego, all of a sudden it kicks into how powerful they are. And then they personally get to make a choice of whether they abuse that power or not. And we've seen it with people like Bashar, who there's no way a benevolent being would say some of the things that have come out of his mouth. And they're going to backpedal. So do you shut it down? It's up to you. I'm going to share with you some distinct memories that I have shared in the past that I never would have talked about a while back because it was a little too cray-cray, but I'm going to share them with you now. So I have memories, decades of reoccurring dreams for decades. Being on another planet, not so different from here, maybe, not so many mountains, a little bit more flat. Whole cities, big waterways going through, and a very peaceful species of human-like people that lived together in community. However, there were factions that would come in and battled over control of that planet. So the people were peaceful, and because they were peaceful, they didn't fight back. But so that created a very unified community that took care of each other through these troubling times. But we always lived in, let's just say, the knowledge that something could show up and other species would be battling in craft over the planet. So there was always some kind of destruction going on, battles in the sky. This was ongoing. All right? You can say, oh, that's cray-cray stuff. I don't know what it is. Is it my past life? I don't know. I do know that I participated in a group that helped people to move out of danger, and I helped to take care of them, and we eventually had to evacuate the planet. Sci-fi? I don't know. I'm not here to tell you what's true and what's not. You may have your own feelings or reoccurring dreams. Let's start talking about them. This isn't crazy stuff. And if people do go into that space, they're limiting themselves, because Chris Bledsoe went through this. The ridicule and separation and craziness, because this is programming that we've been told to not accept that. Oops, battery change. We've been told not to accept that. It's programming. Who's told you that? This is how it is. This is how you should behave. Here's religion, and it's confining. If it's limiting, it is not of the ultimate one power that you can go into right now. You will be tested. You will go into spaces where you will be watching things on media and you won't know what's true and what's not. I'm going to tell you right now, our whole point of being here is to triumph over the past, let's just say, scenarios that have played out in other lifetimes and planets. You are unlimited. You never, ever end. You always have been. You always will be. You are an expression of one beautiful creation. So this whistleblower, he is now going with a small group of people and testing and communicating with them, because he knows that there's a spiritual connection. And you can go into this space, and if you go into it without fear, we don't know what's in the skies, if it's us or something else. The orbs, probably benevolent beings checking things out, and will make themselves known more and more. Between now and 2026, halfway through, it is time for you to get it in check, to end the separation, to end the anger, the insults, the judgment, and the arguments. End it now. And you will go into a space that's so beautiful, and you will walk around on a planet of conflict and not feel the same way as everybody else, just like this whistleblower. He is now walking around with a love, a complete knowing that he's never felt before. It was a gift, and he is meant to speak up now. And you'll see more and more of these people. I, for one, do not fear what is about to come, because I know that it's all a test for me. How am I going to react? It's not about what's going on or who's doing what. It's about how I'm going to react. Am I going to come forward with love and peace and joy? Am I going to extend myself when it's not so convenient? Am I going to speak up when it might be fearful? Listen, sitting here doing this, not easy. Yeah? You put yourself in this position, and you put yourself in the line of fire for people who just are angry and they want to strike out. And it's easy to do that on a computer as a faceless, nameless person. But guess what? I have a no tolerance zone. So if you do that, probably you'll find that you can't get back on my comment channel. That's okay. And those of you who are now hanging out with that, it's time to shut it down. Not in rejection, but to collaborate with those who are the change makers. Start earning in a way that is contributing to the planet. What are you doing? Start communicating with others who have more open-mindedness and collaborate with them to create amazing things in your life. On any level, it could be anything. Give, open your heart, and the judgment. That is just a facade. That is not the light being you're seeing. You're seeing a facade that's going to test you, a person who has a different culture or a different color. And if somebody's making negative, low-frequency decisions, then we must come over here and shine our light and create things, situations, organizations that will counterbalance that don't allow it, and show them a different way, not condemnation or fighting or conflict. Do not go into conflict. Do not go into conflict. If you do, you will remain in the basement. It is your choice, no one else's. It's not everyone, it's just you. We are experiencing being individuals here. We're experiencing separation and unconsciousness. That's the whole journey. So we have a new era coming. This new whistleblower was so exciting to watch that. He's different. Firsthand, not I'm walking around with all these high-level government officials. He doesn't care about that. He's standing up with his own experience and saying, I know what's going on. His life was in jeopardy, and he realized he's not safe. And if he stayed in that space, that he wouldn't be doing his job of telling us there are other things going on that are good and positive, and they are not to be feared. If you want to participate in that, you can do it starting today. We're going to talk more about this. I'm going to share UFO of God with you, because the predictions, which I have had, let's just say, visions of a world that's apocalyptic. But here's what the message is. It doesn't have to be that way. Same thing with Edgar Cayce, Nostradamus. Things not coming true because we're choosing something different. We hold that power. There's nothing to fear because we don't have to live it. And you personally don't have to. If you entangle with that and you believe it and you're in fear, you will be in the basement. You'll never know about the penthouse. That's how it works. You won't even, you're dialed into rock and roll, and there's a classical station over there, and you want it. But you aren't tuned into it. It's that simple. Tune in, my friend. It's your choice. And a lot of you will just argue, now here's what I'm going to do. YouTube gives us analytics, and I know how long you stay on my video. Those who bugged out early, they don't want to hear about peace. They don't want to hear about collaboration and community and love. They're addicted. They're addicted to the darkness and the separation. They're coming straight from ego, and that's okay. It's their choice. They will not watch this entire video, and they will make comments early on. I see it all the time. People making comments, and I'm saying, wait a minute, I answered that in the video. If you are watching this right now, congratulations. Welcome to the new world. Are you ready to go there? You don't have to believe everything, but I guarantee you will more and more as things are revealed out there. I'm going to share some of these things with you, and we are going to work together to create something amazing. So, as I've shared with you before, digital explorers, I'm blowing the doors off of how people create online businesses. We care about what we're creating, and we're doing things for ourselves that is passionate and purposeful. We're making a positive impact on the planet. If that frightens you, well, you can keep going into your job. I'm not sure what they're doing for the planet. What are you? It's not an easy decision, but it's glorious, and you'll know you're doing the right thing for you. No right nor wrong. You can't make a mistake, but what you do will determine what happens with your own personal experience from here on out, even beyond your body. We continue to learn on the other side. It's a journey. It's an amazing adventure. It's an illusion. Everything is. Welcome it. Play with it. It's beautiful. Break through the fear, my friend. Again, I hope you'll subscribe, and I hope to see you in my master class. If you want to be a change maker with your business and earnings, I'd love to help you. And you can go in my description and you can find all kinds of ways to stop using plastic, to detox your body, to respect the planet and animals. I will never promote something that will be destructive to you. Let's start cleaning, detoxing. I'm going to give you opportunities to make different decisions through my research and me using these things myself. Small business owners, we support them. It's a different world. We're going to create it. You ready to do that? Get ready. I'm going to share some more stuff with you, and we'll find out what happens during the inauguration and our, let's just say, our raids on those who haven't gone through the proper systems to be here. I have no opinion on that. It just is. Let's see what happens, and I'll see you in a couple days. Namaste.